What's up, everybody? It's Big Blue Power Hour. I'm here with Evan and Stacy. Giants football is back
Woo!
after preseason game number one. How you guys doing?
Good, good. How's it going, everybody?
Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. A rainy Friday here in New York.
We
It's
had a
too
little
fucking
rain
sunny down
earlier
here.
today.
I know, but it's actually been nice here. It's been
100
like it was in the
degrees plus
60s
humidity.
tonight. That sounds awesome.
60s. It did get to 100 today, but then it rained and then it brought it back down into like the 90s. So,
It rained for you guys. It ain't rain over here.
And it's been
like
raining for three.
literally it rained for like 15 minutes though, Ev. Like literally it was like thunder, lightning, the dog shit himself and then the sun was out. So,
All right. So opening up, let's talk about these practices. I love these combined practices. I think it really gets a game time feeling to them, especially between a team that's traveling. I really like it, especially against a stacked team like the Detroit Lions. It's
Yeah,
really good to get our number ones against their number ones. So, how'd you guys feel about them?
I thought they were really good. Neighbors did well. Burns did well. I thought Jones did well. But I like that they seem fired up. They're getting into like
yeah.
fights every day. And I think both teams got fined like $200,000 actually. So
Two no, yeah, 200,000, yeah, each team. So, but man, Jones looked fired up. What
what's up,
up,
Paul?
Spence? Like Jones,
What's
I
up,
mean,
Paul?
and it's like he's taken on a new persona now. With he's got, he's gruff and
Yeah,
There's
the
Dark Daniel Jones,
mustache. He's
the
like
alter ego. This is evil
fucking
Danny.
guys. Yes,
yeah, but he
he's
was
gonna
definitely
be
fired up.
Eli Point two.
Yep,
No,
and yeah, Eli just never had a beard really. But I do like that. There was some intensity about it. It's good to get full pound workouts versus the Lions versus those teams. And I saw neighbors get in the fight. And then Singletary was taking on like five guys. So yeah, I like
for
that
as small as
fire in
he
them.
ran in that pile like he was, 7 foot. That's what I kind of like to say.
Yeah, so I think they just wanted to like hit somebody, and they were intense, and I like that they seem to might. Hopefully, they have like that edge to them this season.
It seems like the defense did. We want to talk about the first round pick, neighbors, but Drew Phillips and second rounder
Newbin,
Newbin played exceptionally well throughout the week. Really locked up Amont St. Brown. He had a couple catches here and there, but I like the physicality of somebody coming in out of the draft and
yeah,
is not scared to go after the number one receiver and and shut him down. I love that.
yeah. I think they haven't had Newbin really like at a starting position. They have Belton, but I think Newbin and Phillips will do well. It looked like they have a lot of talent. And you'll see how they catch on. In this next game coming up, which we'll talk about later in the show. But it's nice to get that full pad workout versus. That's probably why the starters didn't really play, which makes sense.
Right.
You get that full game time speed, full pads. You get some padded practices in there versus another team, and that's that makes sense to me. I would have liked to see Jones play, but they
Well,
probably liked what they saw in the joint practices.
you don't want a Drew Lock situation because
Yeah,
how many weeks is
Listen,
he? I mean, I honestly I think DeVito is more our second than Locke. Locke just has the experience.
and you're paying him
DeVito,
You're paying him more money. Go ahead, Evan.
But
DeVito looks a lot comfortable in a collapsed pocket. That's
Yeah,
more. That's what I say. Drew was under, you know, pressure from that left side every play. Now he did a stupid mistake and threw it into double coverage. That's But the one play I want to say to everybody, they were playing cover two when Neighbors was open. So you would have to roll out and stick that onto the sideline and hope that the linebacker doesn't drop back or the safety doesn't come up and take that. It's
yeah,
a very tight window. So when you're seeing it from a side angle and he burnt that safety and was wide open, that linebacker, that safety was in the back waiting for him.
Well, it's got to be a back shoulder throw if you're going to throw that.
It's going to have to be a sideline throw, but then again, where his position was, he would have to play. He would have to roll out to some extent to get it over that linebacker's head, and then fast enough that the safety can't break it up.
Yeah, I thought he should have pulled the trigger, but I'm not going to worry about Neighbors not being thrown to. He was in for a couple of series, and I think Neighbors will be fine. I'm not really worried about that, but I do think that the backup offensive lineman played well in the game. I thought Azudu played well. I thought that
He didn't play well
the
at
depth
tackle.
played well. He played left tackle, I think, more later in the game, but I thought Azuda looked fine. I thought their backups looked okay. They didn't look like the worst, especially in the offensive line.
Did you get any worse?
No, it can't get any worse.
So let's just be honest.
The what I'm worried about right now is we didn't see much of Bryce Ford Wheaton at all.
No.
We didn't see much to him at all. I'm excited to see Eric Gray and Tyrone Tracy. They look like they can be a future two-head monster on this offense. We're starting to see Gray have that breakout speed he had at Oklahoma. Tyrone Tracy, I think they're trying to keep him on the wraps. What I'm concerned is now that you have a fourth tight end coming in, where does Theo Johnson fit in here? Because you have him fourth on the list.
I think you have him fourth on the list, but I think he's going to be the number 2 or number 1 tight end by the end of the year. I think he's that talented. I think they're just working him into the system. He's only been back like a week, so I think I think Theo Johnson will fit in fine. I think he'll make the team. I like the way that guy Jackson played. That the guy they had in.
Yeah.
But I think Theo Johnson will be the number 2 to start the season. I don't see why not. He's extremely talented, they say. And he's played well in camp.
I also want to give a little bit of a shout out because if you're a fan of our show, you know who we've been picking for the last 2-3 years. Hedron Hooker, who I thought would be Giants scouted him. They went to that Tennessee Alabama game where he slayed Alabama in the last seconds. With the field goal. You have that. I always wanted him. It's good to see him prospering. Hate to see this for the Lions, but another one I wanted, Joe Milton. I thought that was a real viable option in the 6th round for the Giants, just to get some depth behind. He's turned out to be a stud. But not pulling the trigger on Drake May has to be a big blunder by New England. He didn't really look comfortable. His arm looks a little bit lacking. If you can't throw a 40-yard pass, I don't think there's much use for you in the league. I want to see more of him.
I could probably throw a 40-yard pass.
I'd put money you can't. But let's just put it that way. I love the show. But, the offensive standouts, JMS being out in that center position was really steady. I'm happy to see that. Because that was my worry going in, was that the right would be fine, the left would be fine, but our second round starter, JMS, would not be in there. And up the middle would be, running would be done. And it's good to have a running back now that can run from the shotgun. That wasn't really Barkley's strong suit.
No, I didn't really like that, but I thought Tyrone Tracy played well. I like his vision and his patience. I thought Gray played really well. I thought also Miller played well. I thought all 3 of them did well, even though Miller is versus the guys that probably aren't going to be on the team, but I thought they all played well. But I really liked the way Gray looked. He looked good in the receiving game. He looked good in the run game. He had another nice screen play. I like that Tyrone Tracy could run through tackles. It seems like you can't arm tackle him. He had a couple of nice runs where nothing was there, and he had good vision and good cutback ability. That's what I like about Gray and him. I thought they both played well.
Well, that the offensive highlights, only scoring 2 touchdowns, but you're not going to go up 50-0, on a team.
No,
they're not going to push it. They're literally filling each other out. You got to remember, guys. These are scrimmages, glorified scrimmages, just to get people in.
Exactly.
Like I said, for Detroit to come to New York for their first game, come out here and help us get better. I said this earlier, and I said to a few Lions pages on here, thank you for coming out because you only get better with working with people who are better than you.
Yeah.
You know, I say this a lot, iron sharpens iron. There's a lot of people, even on this network, we work with that we try to make ourselves better. Iron sharpens iron. So you can't be playing these fugazi teams like, you know, the Panthers and beat up on them for 4 games and it gives you a bloated confidence. And then you roll in week 1 and you look horrible. That's what happened last year. I think we got a real bloated confidence. You know, I think we need to come into this, you know, this season with a worse attitude going into, like, you know, I like the way the backup defensive line was playing. They looked really serious, getting pressure well. Heron Hooker going off of 2 years on ACL, you know, was able to outspeed a few of them. I don't know how to say his name, but the second linebacker, 54,
Deontay Johnson
played very well. I love his speed.
I thought he played well. His recognition's really good.
Yes,
and
that's what I like.
Sack. He had a sack and tackle for a loss. Yeah,
he had a couple really nice plays. I like the way he played.
Homework, people.
And I like how he commits. Like if he knows, all right, I can close that gap real fucking quick. He shoots for it and goes for it. Like he like it's gonna bite him in the ass sometimes, but don't have the indecisiveness because quarterbacks that can run are gonna take advantage of that.
Yeah, I thought he was actually patient because a couple of those plays he had to be patient, wait for the running back to make a move or the blocker to make a move, and then he decided. And I like the way he played. I thought Banks had a couple of nice plays. He had a nice tackle. I thought Andrew Phillips had a nice play in the backfield.
Drew Phillips.
Andrew Phillips, the cornerback. Yeah, I thought Newman had a couple of nice plays.
I see when he shot the offensive line like right off the bat, and he got that tackle for loss. For somebody coming out, his problem was tackling. Seemed like he didn't have a problem tackling at all. Let's see how he does with the starter, but I really love that play call.
Yeah, I thought, like I said, I thought the depth played well. Like I said, I really like Deontay Johnson. I don't know about that guy Masu or however you say his name. He's a 6th round pick. I don't know if he's really going to be. I thought Basham had a couple of nice plays.
Yeah.
No, that defensive lineman
was 1 for 1, and same with Chatham, Elijah Chatham.
Yes. Yeah, Chatham actually played well. Like I said, for and what I really like is no one really got hurt besides Drew Lock. Drew Lock has a strain, but other than that, I think everyone is pretty much healthy, and that's what you want. You want to get out of the games.
And they said he's out for a couple of weeks. So what is he going to be back by like week 2?
I don't think
DeVito. Like he's out for half the season.
But you're not really banking on him playing. You want Jones to play well.
Exactly.
And I thought DeVito did all right. He looked a little better. I think he did okay. He'll be your emergency guy. He had valuable experience last year. But like I said, I like the way the running backs played. I like the way Jackson played, that tight end. I thought he had a couple of nice plays.
Yeah. I thought Gray, Eric Gray, obviously, but then Dante Miller too.
Yeah, but like I said, it's nice to have Giants football back, and I know it's only preseason, but it's nice to have them back. I would have liked to see Jones play in this game, but I get it because they played full pads versus the Lions during the week.
Yeah,
so they liked what they saw. They don't
normally play till the very last week.
No, they're going to play next week. They're going to play next week with that. Yes, the last game is where you play. Where you play your, the guys that are on the bubble more so. They may play a couple of starters, but I suspect you're going to have your dry run versus the Texans, which is
I think this is where you'll see Hyatt, you'll see, probably Eric Gray a little bit more. Devin Singletary will probably take a snap. I don't know if you put Jones out there. I wouldn't.
He has to play.
Well, and now, because you got DeVito, and you're
gonna have to sign another quarterback.
Yeah, so
They're
it's
gonna
like
have to sign
unless they just put
another
DeVito
camp
in for
body.
the whole game.
No, I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they'll pick someone else up or something like that, that's what they'll do because they're not gonna. Because then they would have to play. Because if
And,
you lose
and I
DeVito, then
don't
you want
I
a
don't
backup
understand
right
that
now.
for a preseason game though. Like you have a guy that's out for a couple of weeks. What are you gonna pick up some dude for a couple of weeks and then
Yes,
throw him in the garbage? Why? It's pre-fucking season, man.
because you need more than 2 quarterbacks. I think.
Well, you do, but this is practice. Like this is practice for the real shit. Like why are we bringing in somebody who's not even going to be come regular season?
So they do that all the time.
Build
I
up
don't
a
know if
rapport.
teams.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
it's kind of like when we dropped Ty
It's
Phillips.
kind
We
of a
went to the
little late
Eagles,
for that. Like
and
they
then
should have brought him in at training camp.
What is training camp?
I understand that, but you're halfway through training camp to regular season.
but if somebody knows your
You're
system now, in case of emergencies down the line, at least you can come in and somewhat know the system. Especially if you're having injuries this early to that one position.
Yeah, I think they will, but like I said, it's not it's only for a camp body, and that's the only reason they would probably do it. Like I don't see any other reason they would do it, but we'll see. You know, but
I mean, Joe Shane was all up in there, I guess, trying to break up fights. So you never know what's coming up for the Giants.
Like I said, none of it really got too heated. The only one that really got heated was neighbors getting, punches thrown at them. And I've never understood that. Why, if you're gonna fight somebody, why punch them in the helmet?
Well, and they had those
break your
funny
hand.
helmets on too.
I
Didn't
never
he have
understood that.
the helmet
somebody
with
who
the
plays
cushion?
football, the first thing I'm doing is I'm not throwing a punch at you. I'm like that's not my goal because I'm gonna end up breaking my hand on the protection. But there's no this dude threw 3 punches, landed on the face mask, and I'm like, well, what did you do besides punch a fucking helmet? Like, I don't know.
You end up breaking your hand or something, or breaking a finger. That's why I'm like, I'll grab you by the face mask and swing you around. Pull the jersey over his head like in hockey.
Right. Then just start bam, bam, bam.
At least in hockey, they have the class to take the helmet off.
But I do like the intensity. I think they do need to play with an edge. I think the way they got smacked around by the Cowboys, had no edge to them. They had no fight in them whatsoever.
You have to mention them.
It's just that's
I'm
just what you're going to think about.
You gotta hope the Asian Gollum isn't behind.
We're going to the Super Bowl. It's already started.
But I think.
Started.
But
they
you know
you're played a preseason game, and
but
it's already started.
But we're going to think of that when the first week comes up. It's not the
I
Cowboys.
wasn't, but now I am.
You can't open like that. You're going to think about it anyway. I still can't forget about that. And that's the thing. They played with no edge last year. And that's when you play with a killer instinct. You know what I'm saying?
I think they came out with perfect. They came out really good. That field goal swung the whole game in the opposite direction.
And Andrew Thomas got hurt. He was hurt the whole season pretty much. He was never healthy the rest of the season.
He hasn't practiced much either.
Nope. And Neal is probably done. Neal is not really playing. But like I said, I thought the offensive line depth played well, but I'm interested to see the way the starters play. And I don't like the way Thomas is getting hurt. He hasn't played a full season really. He's always getting banged up somehow. But like I said, at least I want to see that offensive line play. Illuminor, Van Rotten. I don't know if JMS is going to play next week. I doubt it. But the backup played well. And then you have Runyon and Thomas. So I'm interested to see how their offensive line does versus
Runyon,
starters.
Was his dad somebody before? Was there a Runyon?
He played for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Was it okay? Why did I thought
Runyon
Washington
Jr.
for some reason.
Yeah, he was a tackle or guard for the Eagles for a long time.
Okay. I just remember that name when I heard that. I'm like, that dude's not playing right now. It's got to be his kid because
Well, it is John Runyon Jr.
Yeah,
I
Junior.
didn't.
Yep,
All I saw was Runyon. So,
Uh,
Runyon
in
Junior.
my defense, I was like,
Yeah,
Runyon? No.
yeah, Runyon Junior. I thought he played well. Dave Yar says, "Hey, all big blue fans, what's going on? My
ears.
ears were ringing,
Oh, your
Miss
wars
Stacy.
were ringing. All
What's up,
right. Why
Kenny?
did I
What's up,
say
Ken?
cowgirls? Did I say cowgirl Dave?
Listen. They
He
got to
doesn't.
sign
He doesn't
CD
like
Lamb,
that.
and he's getting more and more pissed off every day. They're going to sign Dak to $60 million a year. Let them be bad all by themselves. Listen, they can have a 12-5
Nope.
season all they like. But when you
It could
first
be.
round exit, listen, I'm going to give you a stat that nobody likes. Daniel Jones and Dak Prescott had the same amount of playoff wins. One.
And I mean, not for nothing, Dak's been doing a lot longer. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Dak has been much better, I'll admit, statistically. But the way they got beat was just, yeah, that's worse, I think, than week 1. Us getting killed like that. But that's the NFL. That's the way it goes. No one really expected that. Dave says Dak has 2 playoff wins.
Oh, I forgot. He defeated a aging Bucks and Tom Brady team. I forgot. Oof.
But I think
Oof.
I think the Cowboys need to show they can go a little bit of a distance. Like they have a good team. I think. I hate to say that.
That's not Dallas' fault. I'll tell you why it isn't Dallas' fault. Not Dallas' fault because the NFL gives them scrub ass teams to beat up on. They do. I'm sorry. There's no way you finish 1 or 2 in the division every year, and you get the second or third easiest schedule every year for the last 10 years.
I haven't looked at what their strength of schedule is, to be honest. Actually,
I'm like, and then like the Eagles and Giants got like the third hardest schedule. I'm like, yo, we're at the fucking bottom. Can you at least give us like
at
the
least we don't got
second
to play them
easiest
week
schedule?
1 this time again. We play them week 1 like almost every year. At least we play them a little later this time, which I
They're
kind
not.
of like.
I'm like, I don't know. Well, I listen. I would play those last 6 games or 8 games, whatever it is. I would play those last 6 games. Yeah. No, he defeated Russ, Seahawks, Brady, and the Bucks. Yeah, I just said that's the last one was the fucking Bucks. Yeah. The Seahawks, you barely get straight out of that one. And then you had a rookie. Well, I'm sorry. I can't say rookie. You had a rookie go into your stadium and curb stomp you.
Yeah, I think it was part of their defense too. Their defense just gave up a ton of points, like right in the beginning, and put them in that.
Oh, you mean the number 2 ranked defense in the
Yeah,
league?
yeah, it was definitely shocking.
I
But
can't
at least
even
they,
blame it on the secondary. Your front 8 gave up like 24 unanswered points in the first half.
at least they made the playoffs, unlike us. So I don't know if we can really talk that much.
Listen. Oh, I'll talk all mad shit. You know why? Listen, just because they played an extra 2 weeks while we were sitting in Cabo, don't mean shit. There's 1 winner, 31 losers. You can say, "Oh, I made it to this." Okay, you made it to a further distance. Did you reach the finish line? No, the fuck you didn't. Sit your ass down. Go over there. 1 win, 1 winner, 31 losers. That's it.
Yes, he did. Yep. I was as shocked as everybody. So, but that's like I said, that's the way it goes to the playoffs.
And listen, I love when Paulie, especially Dave, hearing them go at it on a Sunday. They're both Cowboys fans. The joy I hear from Paul, who is sour on everything they do, and then you have Mr. Cheerful, which is Cowboy Dave, who's just like, hey, they'll get it together. They got chutzpah. It's just fun to hear. I'm looking forward to it. Me, after the loss to the Cowboys, I just went silent. That was demoralizing.
Oh man, and then they come back from Arizona. You're like, oh, all right. No, but then it's just such a disaster season. They better have a better season. But I think, like I said, I think the Giants' offensive line will be much better this season. The depth is better. I think their starters are of a higher caliber. This season as well. And if Jones plays well and Neighbors plays well, I think Singletary, Gray, and Tracy will all play well. They'll all contribute. So like I said, by all, the way it looks, their offense should be better.
Is it weird? I would love to see them run like a triple option.
Oh, like the
triple option is a formation. It's when you usually have like one or two speed backs. Usually, sometimes it's a wide receiver as a speed back, and then you do have usually one lineup on one side, one on the or if you do the pistol, there's one behind you, one beside you, and since Jones can run, but I know he's coming off an ACL injury.
Yeah,
it's usually a lot of quick pitches out. Georgia Tech was notorious for running the triple option. And it's
Air
throw
Force
defenders off, and it's really used for a weak offensive line. That's
but is their offensive line going to be weak? I don't know about that. I think it's going to be better. But they could play. They could play with Jones, and then you have a running back on either side of him. Singletary and Gray, Singletary and Tracy and Gray. You could even Miller if he makes it, which I think he'll make it for special teams. I think I'd like to see Miller as a kick returner.
I didn't even see you over there.
He's fast.
I think if Miller does stay, what do you do with like Hyatt? Do you put him back on kick returns again or no?
No, I would not put Hyatt on kick returns, but Miller is a guy that you could probably do that, and. But I don't want to put Hyatt back there because I don't want him to get hurt. I want to be playing a wide receiver, maybe punt return. But I think Miller might be a guy that could fill that role of punt return, kick return, because of his speed and athleticism, and that's what you want.
Speaking of kickoff, what team right now do you think is going to be the first one to take real advantage of like this 20-yard buffer zone and really get it, come out on top? Because right now, everybody's experimenting. They're experimenting on how to like create better gaps. And like for me, I always thought it was kickoffs died when they started kicking from the 35 instead of the 25 because everything ended up in a touchback. When's the last time you've seen a coherent play from a kickoff that ended in a touchdown? You see it in college, yeah, but I haven't seen it at the professional level since that. So this is a good mix-up to the game. It's a lot safer. I just want to see what team's going to come up with a scheme that like it's hard to stop on that that 20-yard buffer.
Some teams might just kick in the end zone and just give the team that's a 30. If your defense is good enough, that might be that's a strategy some teams are just going to do instead. But some are going to try and drop it like in that area and make them return. And the kick team is closer to make that tackle, but you will see more kick returns. You'll see at least 5, 6, 7, 8 kick returns this season. I think you'll have a lot more that because once you break that line, there's no one behind. There's no one else back there. That's the difference. The coverage is going to be different.
It used to be like one wave, two wave, and then you had the kicker, the third wave.
Yeah. Yes, Stacey?
I have a question.
Yes?
Thank you. So how are you supposed to announce? Like, because usually they would announce it by everybody lining up and then everybody moving off to the side. How are you?
Nobody moves until the ball is kicked.
Until the ball is caught.
Until it's caught. Nobody can move until the ball's caught.
People are going to cheat.
So they're doing it like, because I was thinking, like, how the fuck are you supposed to announce this? Because it was supposed to be a trick play. But
where they took it from,
I don't watch much college.
It was not college, but where they took it from, they had a whistle when they kicked it. When it was caught, like they would blow a whistle.
Then everybody would run.
Yeah, but now it's going to be how fast you get off the line. So that's what it's going to be. Like there's going to be people that are going to try and cheat, and people want to know: are they going to call that? Are they going to call like as a false start? Some people are going to leave early to block. Some people are going to leave early to the coverage team will leave early to tackle. They would have to
call it. They would have to call it a false start.
But I do think that it's going. What's going to be key is those coverage guys how fast they jump off the ball. When it's caught, how fast could that first quick step? You're going to want guys that are a little quicker, to make that first step to get a jump on the blockers.
It's going to turn into special teams. Is going to be split. It's going to be a lot of hybrid safeties like Isaiah Simmons, who had that speed and that size to get down the field as attackers.
Mm-hmm.
And in defense, you're going to want like kind of like tight end size, quick enough to drop.
Who are still fast, but
quick enough to drop back, but not What's up, Rob?
Hey, Rob.
What's up, Rob? What's going on, man?
I'm not a fella, sir, but thank you. Hi, Rob.
But I like I said, some people hate the kickoff rule, but I think it makes things more interesting. I think you'll get more returns, and it also, I think it's a little safer as well. I think, some people think it's weird, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think it's going to bring more excitement to the kickoff.
It's just going to be different. It's like in baseball when they did when they started with the pitch clock. It's like something you got to get used to.
Well, they have to announce the onside kick. I mean, you already know an onside kick's happening anyway. Because the formation would be that, in previous seasons.
I just think,
but if they kick it and nobody runs, then they know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so. Yeah, obviously you have to tell them like, "Hey, this is the play we're gonna do."
Yeah.
Surprise. There's no more anymore.
I don't know. I'm next the time when they do a sneaky onside kick.
I don't know. It used to add something because we would always be like, "Oh, are they going to try an onside kick?" Well, now we're going to be like, "All right, they're doing an
Rob
onside
says,
kick."
"My apologies, Stacey. You weren't there when I posted."
Oh, okay, yeah, because. Oh, so I'll just blame Dan. Sorry, Rob. Fine. I didn't mean to call you out or nothing. It stands for.
I'm gonna do one of our sponsor real quick, and then we'll get back to the show. Just let me do this real quick.
Sure.
When I heard 1, 2, 3, Attorney Big Al, Jason Fine. If you ever do the vehicle accident, slip and fall, workers' compensation, injury claims, give them a call. They have locations in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, the Cherry Hill, New Jersey area, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If you ever have legal trouble, give them a call. I'm sure they will help you out in anything they need. If you, throw your TV out the window because your team lost or something like that, and drop it on someone's car. So give what I heard 1, 2, 3 a call if you have any legal troubles, and they will be sure to help you out. But like I said, I like the kickoff rule, and I don't think it's that bad. Like I said, if it's gonna bring more excitement to the game as in returns, then I don't mind that aspect of it. I think that's one of the better things about it.
Yeah, another rule that was changed. I guess we're going to see it in better effect this year. No more hip drop tackles.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Well, I want to see how that's implemented because some things may look like a hip drop and it's not, but it's going to be more from behind. I think from when you're trailing the offensive player and you pull back from behind. I don't know if it's going to be from the side or from the front, but from behind. I think it'll be called the most.
Well, yeah, because that would be it would give you an advantage. You know what I mean? If you're able to catch them from behind and just grab them and like pull them down.
Coming from somebody who played offensive line and defensive end, it's really not a good way to tackle anybody. I agree. Like some people do it because they don't have the strength to get somebody down.
Yeah,
but
yeah, but coming down like that, could you injure yourself?
They you can't put your shoulder into them, and because some guys will bounce off you. That's normal. You can't do a complete wrap up, because sometimes wrapping up, you got to move that momentum and then throw. You can't throw them to the ground no more, And then when we were going for the legs, it's now like, oh, well, you can't hit a player in the legs no more. You got to hit them even. That it takes away a lot of And now I think like a lot of it now they're calling unnecessary roughness if you leave your feet. Like if you leave your feet to put your weight into the hit, like or wrap up, you're getting hit with a unnecessary roughness. Like
Well,
there's
we'll see.
nothing.
Yeah,
You have to be able, like they have to fall down with you. You got to
I mean,
tuck them in, give them a bottle. It's
yeah, thank you. That's exactly it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, what the fuck? Like, should you carry a pillow and a
give
binky
him a
with
bottle.
you, like at
people
all
they want to make
times?
things safer. Yes. Now,
Well, if they
with
want to
this
make
whole
it safer, you know what? Make them wear those stupid helmets that they make them wear in
no,
training camp.
no.
You
When
know
you
what I
go
mean? They
into
look like
boxing,
fucking South Park when the
listen.
parents.
When you go into boxing,
Stupid.
you are taking a risk every time you enter that ring. Football is a contact sport.
Exactly.
I understand. Listen, there's people who are great athletes who are like, I don't want my kids playing football.
I mean, is
I
LeBron
understand why.
James
I'm
the
like,
head
yeah,
of the NFL right now?
huh?
Is LeBron James the head of the NFL right now? Because
No,
why are
Goodell
we
is.
pussifying this whole sport?
That's
It's not
Goodell for you.
You
That's
know what I mean?
the
Like
way it is.
LeBron was a great tight end. I don't want to get off the two topic, but
LeBron. I was talking about basketball.
yeah, but anyway, he was a great tight
You
end.
know,
Trust me. But
he's
no,
an
what I
asshole.
was saying was like he has a point. Like he don't want his kids playing football. It's too dangerous. I understand that. Like teach them a modified
Whatever.
version of the game, but there's a time you have to like you got to take that risk. And hey, if something happens to me, do I think the team should look after their player that got hurt for them?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's if ends or buts. But you're taking a risk when you're in there. You can't make contact sports like even people who have
It won't
protected
be
themselves all their
contact.
lives
It's not
have some
contact
sort of
anymore
Well, there
because
needs
you
to be a
can't touch
balance
anybody.
to it. Like there needs to be some kind of a balance, and sometimes they go too far
Okay,
the other
so
way, like the
it's the
CBA.
NFL flag football league.
I wouldn't say that, but
I'm
I
not
want to see
condoning.
how they're.
I'm not condoning a defensive end dropping somebody on their head, but like if I go to take somebody down, they break a leg. Shit happens. Like you know
It
what I mean?
depends
Like,
on the
It's
yeah,
a
that's the risk you
contact
take.
sport.
But I want to see how they're going to call it and how often it gets called and how they're going to implement it. Because is it a judgment call or is there a gray area where it's not necessarily hip to but it looks like one? Or is it like black and white? You know what I'm saying?
Straightforward.
How are they
but
gonna
then again,
call
how
it
do you define a
exactly?
hip drop? Like you just said, how do you
That's what I'm
define a hip
saying.
drop?
How they gonna implement it and how I want to see how many times it's called the game and I'm just interested to see how they implement it and how it goes. You never know with the rule. Just like
The
that
only way you're going
pass
to be able to
interference rule.
the
You
only way
already
you're going to be able
know.
to call it is if somebody gets injured, and then you're going to have to either find the player or find the team
I
until
don't
it
think.
happens. But you can't
think-
call it during the game because you're going to run into the same issue the pass interference call went through when you're able to challenge it.
Well, exactly.
But that's what I'm thinking is the first season they're probably going to be calling that call a lot, just because
Maybe.
it's what everything's going to be a hip drop
No,
unless
hit
you
that.
actually define it.
Well, the
Because
hip
right
drop,
now, like you said, you don't know what it is.
A hip drop
Well-
is just when you're holding onto a player
and you
and
go
instead
backwards.
of
You
bringing them
pull,
down
like
with your upper body,
Right.
you just give your legs out and put your full weight
No,
on
I
them.
get that, but you can
It's like a
come
horse
at like if
collar,
you're coming from
similar.
behind them, right? Exactly. If you're coming from behind and you do that, that's a different situation than if you come
Which is
from
That's what they're
the
gonna call
side.
it. That's what they mean from behind. When you come from behind, you wrap around the hips and you drop your weight. Like it's similar to doing. I'm guessing they're comparing it similar to a horse collar where you pull them backwards. But if you fall forwards or do it from the side, I don't think that's necessarily a hip drop. Like if it's not a wrap
because like
tackle,
you're putting
it's with your shoulder.
you're putting like all right.
But
So
that's the
you're
whole
putting their
point
leg
is they're
power-
not defining that.
I think that's what they mean though.
See, like you got the player who's carrying upper body plus pads and helmet, and then you're putting all your weight on their bottom half, without
Yes.
without the rest of their body being able to support that weight, which is causing a lot of knees to give out, you have a lot of ACLs to rip, because you have a 300-pound linebacker or 250-pound linebacker just on your lower half as you're trying to use that muscle to push off the ground.
Well, you have to tackle them forward instead, not backwards. You have to get them around the waist and go down with
And that's
them.
going to be a lot of first downs, a lot of giving up plays. because dropping that weight,
Maybe.
dropping that anchor stops the ship. It stops the locomotive. Dropping that thing, it stops them from going forward.
Well, maybe you
Now,
don't go low. You go up towards the shoulder pads and to the upper body and take them down, not the
That's a
hips.
horse collar.
No. If you
Well,
hug them, that's not a horse
but you
collar.
know what I'm saying. Like
No,
then
if you
there's going to
grab the
be
back,
another rule for that. It
no,
just
that you can't do anything about wrapping up high. That's what I think players will do instead.
try to wrap up somebody who's going 20 miles an hour. Yeah, to be honest with you, the best part is the
Technique. That's
okay.
technique.
just jump on them
They're
like
gonna
a spider monkey.
they're gonna have to adjust to it somehow, but I don't know how they're going to implement this. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't know. It's really I haven't seen it called yet. I want to see how exactly they're going to call it, and that's really an unknown right now. You never know with the rule how it's going to be implemented, or if there's going to be the gray area, or they're going to define it like in a certain way. It's just unfortunately that some rules are like that. You just don't know how it's going to go. I can't tell. That's all.
So
I just don't know.
For the coming up game against the Texans, what do
Yeah.
you want to see more of?
I want to see the starting offensive line. I want to see the starting receiver core and Jones, and I would like to see Burns a little bit, and Thibodeau, and I'd like to see more Deontay Johnson. I think like in that game. You're going to see Okereke, but I want to see how the starters. I want to see who they're going to put in at the other safety if they're going to start Phillips, because I think Phillips is better than Flott. I think Phillips is better than Flott, and he's going to be better than Holmes. And I'm interested to see more of the offense probably because I think their pass rush will be all right and the secondary. That's what I'm interested to see versus the Texans. The Texans are good. It's a good test. That's why I'm playing my starters for a good amount versus the Texans because they're going to be one of the best teams in the AFC, and they're loaded on offense and really good on defense. It's a good test for the O-line, for Jones, for the receiving corps, and especially the secondary as well.
I want to treat it like a real game for at least the first two offensive.
I think they should win a whole quarter.
It depends how long your offense is out there. It could be.
Well, how are they going to treat this game? Are they going to treat the third game as the warm up? Because it was always the game before the last game as the warm up.
Started now.
So I think versus the Texans is a perfect opportunity to play your starters.
No, you're exactly right. Because
I wouldn't play them just a series or two. I play them for
they were a Super Bowl contender. They actually made it to the playoffs.
But I would like to see Jones getting a little bit of a rhythm. Connect with neighbors a couple times. Connect with I want to see him just get in the rhythm and see how their offense kind of looks. And if you get him in a rhythm a little bit and get him in a couple of nice plays, then you can take Jones out and keep your offensive line in and see how they perform. Right. The offensive line is probably one of the biggest things they're evaluating, and Jones and the secondary. I think their front will be fine with Dex, Thibodeau, Burns. They have Okereke. They have Simmons. They have McFadden. I think Deontay Johnson will get a little more. I would like to see Deontay Johnson maybe next to Okereke for a couple of plays or a couple of series. But I'm more interested in their secondary, their offensive line, and how's their offense going to look. Are they going to look, okay? Are they going to get a little bit done? Or are they going to look bad? And everyone's going to be like, oh my goodness, they look horrible, So the offense is probably what I'm more interested in seeing in the secondary. Because that's your two big question marks.
I'm looking forward to seeing more from the offense. I want to see more from the running backs. Offensive line.
Singletary.
If the depth is looking this good, usually the offensive line is going to look a little bit better. I would rather them play for only about one or two. Is this going to be in Texas or is it going to be?
I think it'll be in Houston, but I'm not 100%
sure. At Houston, I can have them play the full.
Just first quarter or two.
First quarter. The entire first quarter, I would have them play.
Down.
But if it's in New Jersey, I would want them to play the first series and then be out. I don't want to take any risk on that turf because I don't know what it is
I
about
think it's the
Meadowlands.
same whether you play at home, but I think they play at Texas. I think you treat it the same way no matter what. They have to play on the turf anyway, So,
No,
but like I said,
but what do we have now? Turfish grass.
they want to use it in the Premier League. Like 21 teams use it in the Premier League, and they're fine.
Yeah, but they're not getting tackled by 250-pound men on it.
I don't think it's the turf. I really don't. I think it's the conditioning.
I think it's just the ground. I think East Rutherford is haunted.
It's that, but I think it's the CBA. I think it's because that they're not physically ready because of the CBA.
Should get
that has a lot
those
to do with
paranormal detectives out there.
Yeah, because the turf was brand new. You can't keep playing with turf. A lot of players got hurt on a lot of different surfaces.
Dude, but isn't this the second time that we've changed the turf?
Nope, just once. Nope, they had the same turf since they built the stadium with that black beads and stuff, that rubber bead things. This is more a synthetic turf. It's different than the other one.
Yeah, it's like I said.
I thought they just did something last year.
They did. They changed it. Yes, it's a synthetic turf.
Okay.
They
changed it last year.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to change it again unless they absolutely have to. But I don't think they will. Well, I think it's better than what it was.
I really want to see more. I want to see where Jones is at. If Drew Lock can get out there for a quarter, I don't mind seeing him again.
He's probably not going to play next week.
Yeah, he's going to be for a few weeks.
Even if it's the third game, I want to see him more because, DeVito looked good, but Drew Lock's had the experience of being a starter for 3 years or 2 years.
True.
So he has seen a lot more game time than DeVito has. Two, you can't blame one bad drive on him.
No, of course not.
But he went 4 for 17 with fucking 17 yards, and DeVito went 8 for 15 with 92 yards.
They also, after Gray ran the ball, they didn't pass it much.
Yeah, they ran the ball.
Oh, when Locke was in?
Well, because they wanted to see.
I was at Old Lady Bingo, so
they
had it on the channel that went back.
Yeah, they really wanted to see how the offensive line depth played, how Newman played, how Phillips played. Banks, I think, is going to have a better season. And the running backs was really the feature in this game, I would say.
Yeah.
They wanted to see what they had with their depth, and I thought all three of them, like I said, played well. And now you want to see Singletary, and I would like to see Gray or Tracy versus like the starters. Like play Singletary, but I like to see Gray get in for like a drive versus Texan starters if possible, and also Tyrone Tracy Jr. get in versus the starters for a little bit, just to see how each one of them does, because that's like a position of importance, I think.
One person I'm kind of concerned about is we're not seeing Ojulari.
Ojulari played a lot of the game, but unfortunately with his injuries, and he didn't really show much when he was out there either. Versus
I was going to say, because I looked at the stats today, and I didn't even write him down. He was 0 for 0 for 0.
He's got paper hamstrings.
And it's unfortunate for him, his injury history. That's really his problem. And that's why he's stuck down the depth chart.
I really thought he would be starting outside linebacker, but he just
healthy, yeah.
He's just not there right now. I think he's going to be a cut candidate.
Possible.
But I just hope he doesn't go to the Eagles because they've been super interested in him since.
Dude, I'm throat punching you right now.
But he just can't stay healthy, and I think that should have Burns.
Do not bring up the giggles. It's already a sore subject right there, man.
It's always a sore subject. It's the Eagles that took our ass for years.
Exactly.
But listen, y'all seen what I did to my Barkley jersey. I was hurt, all right?
Yeah. Ojulari.
Mine's still hanging in my closet.
Mine's in my fire pit.
Dude, can you imagine if I wore that out here in Dallas? The shit people would say about me wearing it.
I wear my Barkley jersey everywhere.
I would definitely not wear a Barkley jersey anymore. Some people will just retire it, leave it in their closet,
it's probably going to stay
never
there.
play it again. Some people will never burn it, but like with God, what was I? You forget what I was going to say.
Sorry.
With
Derailed.
Yep.
It's the first time. Sorry, guys. It's
Yeah,
the first
I
time
don't
we've had
care.
all three
I
of us
don't
on the
care
show
about
at the same time.
Barkley. I moved on from Barkley. Like I don't even care
It
about him
hasn't
anymore.
even been a season.
I don't.
What
I
the
don't.
fuck? What do you
But
mean you moved on?
I moved on. Yes, I moved on. Yes, I did.
Dan, it's hard for me to move on. I was a fan of his in Penn State. I was so happy when the Giants signed him.
We were all fans of him when we were just
And he
Giants
I
fans.
know.
and
breaks
Penn
my
State
heart.
fans.
Okay,
It hurts. I want
he
to
breaks
cry
my
right
fucking
now.
heart.
No,
And it makes it even worse
I'm
because
over
my
it.
dad, when we signed him, I swear when we first drafted him, my dad's like, "Oh yeah, he'll be an Eagle in 4 years." I was like, "He ain't going to
Fuck
fucking
that
Eagles." Shut
guy.
up.
Fuck your dad, Mike.
Every
you.
time he says a
Fuck
Giant will
you,
sign with the
Mike.
Eagles,
Where are
they
you?
fucking sign. And it
We'll
pisses
see
me
how he
off
does.
without a doubt. And I hope he's watching because he calls it every fucking time. And like he hit me up the other day, he's like,
I
"Guess
hope
what I
he's
just ordered?" I'm
watching
like,
too.
"What?" He goes, "I just ordered my Barkley jersey." I'm like, "You can go fuck yourself."
Yeah, I hope Dexter Lawrence wallops him a couple times when they play the Eagles. But the one thing I want to say about Ojulari is, unfortunately, he's stuck behind Burns now, and Thibodeau. That's just the way it is.
I think he'd be.
No.
I think if he gets back to his form, that's the best thing for him. He cannot be a starting, outside linebacker.
He'll be a rotation guy, like a situational guy who can bring on the field. But they have Simmons also.
Hurt.
Exactly. That's why I don't trust him about Ojulari. But unfortunately for him, with that injury, they played Simmons a lot also in this game, which is fine. But I think Simmons will make it. And like I said, I think Deontay Johnson's also going to make the team. I think he's going to be one of your backup linebackers.
Too.
McFadden will make it. McFadden will probably be the starter, but Deontay Johnson, if his recognition is better, even though McFadden's faster and he's able to play look like that, I think he could be your number 2 guy by the end of the year. I like him. I hope he makes it. I'm rooting for him. Another guy I would like to see is Theo Johnson in this game coming up.
You got to see more of him. For a 4th round pick, you have to see more.
Yeah, because I haven't seen anything from him. I know he's looked okay in camp. He looked okay this week versus the Lions, but I want to see him play in a real game situation. We'll see how long the starters play and what the Texans do also. Like how long are their starters going to play? Every team's going to have a different strategy.
Texans are up 17-6 on the Steelers in the 3rd.
Yeah, they're probably not playing any of their starters really.
No, probably not.
But the Texans are loaded, and I think that's a good test. And that's why I want to have the kind of dry run a little bit the first quarter versus the Texans with the starters.
All right, so starter for starter, you want to see Jones more.
Yes.
We want to see Tyrone Tracy get some snaps. We want to see.
I want to see Neighbors get the ball a few times. I want to see if he can be effective. I'd like to see Theo Johnson and how the starting offensive line plays, especially the depth again. Also,
like I said, I want to see more. I want to see where Jones is at. I'm not putting my faith into him. I want to see him. Really, what I want to see from him is not getting rattled. I don't want to see him go out there.
Not getting rattled and pressured like crazy. That's the first thing to look at. Is he going to be running for his life, or is he going to have time back there?
I want to see
really
2022 Daniel Jones.
I want to see better than that, but the consistency.
But you know what I mean? Like
offensive line was still bad.
He had a lot of fight and a lot of heart. Like he was going out there getting bloodied and playing the fucking game.
He got destroyed last year.
Jones, when he actually would throw the ball and sling it down the field.
Yeah, he needs to be not gun shy, and I think with Neighbors, I think having Neighbors is a big difference. I mean, he's definitely going to be a difference maker.
And listen,
it's all about protecting Jones, giving him time.
I said it before. Me and Dan talked about it, and people are starting to get it now. And I don't know why I'm always the first one to be on a train with something like this. I said it. I'm like, you have to give a quarterback. Like, you can't bring them in. Like, your success as a quarterback, yeah, it depends on your skill. It definitely does. And you see what teams have it and what teams don't. There's some, teams that should be 2-15, and then there's some teams that that same team might end up 6-11 because they have a great quarterback. But more and more we're getting away from that. There is a special 5 or a special 6. whatever it is, and then the rest are, they can get you to a Super Bowl, but you have to give them the pieces,
Of course.
and you can't
Like
give
not
a
for
mulligan
nothing,
to a
Patrick
player
Mahomes couldn't do it on his own.
and
He's got pieces in place.
but you have people out there, and especially the media and stuff like that. They'll give Saquon this mulligan. Oh, well, he played against the bad offensive line on a horrible team. He was the only star. He didn't have any help. And then you go to Daniel Jones goes, nah, it's all on him.
It's a team game regardless. You have to
You know what I
have
mean?
a good
And
offensive line.
Jalen Hurts, the same thing. They're like, well, can he be a top? And the Eagles fans are like, well, he wins the Super Bowl. He had a stacked roster. But when you seen last year, when it was on him, he hasn't
And
shown
their
that
offensive
he
line
can
was
lead a
not
team
good
yet.
last year either.
Well, and
That's
now
the difference.
It's what I'm saying is you can't. It's an 11. Well, it's a team sport. This isn't basketball where you got 3 good players that can carry you. It's not like that. You have to be
play as
proficient
one
in
unit.
everything and great at some things. Just proficient team's gonna be good. You
can't be consistent.
You can't be below average on defense, but have a great offense. It's not gonna work. You have to be well-rounded. That's why this sport draws in more fans of the American people than anything, because it takes more people to get it to go. It's a good measuring stick. Next week starters for the starters, Texans, but it's still deaf right now. Plus, every team is still 100% vanilla on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, of course. They're going to be vanilla, but
everybody's
it's more about like, for me, it's about the physicality. Like, I want the Giants to play with physicality and intensity and have that killer instinct and not get pushed all over the place. I want to see what their demeanor is as a team, and that's why I like Neighbors. He's tough and he's a fighter. The same with Singletary. You want to see that fight in them, no matter what, and no matter what game. That's what you want to see. So I'm excited to see the starters, and like I said, you hope no one gets hurt in the next game. But like I said, I want to see how the offense does. That's really the key for them. They could have a consistent offense and have balance. And it looks like they're going to have one of the better O lines on paper that Jones has had since he's been with the Giants.
Yeah,
At least we hope so.
Our defense has, I don't want to say solid, but we've had a defense. You know what I mean?
It's been better. The problem with the defense last year is it was stuck
better,
on the field.
But our offenses always seem to go backwards.
Well, because you have a bottom 30 offensive line,
and you, exactly, and you can't keep your defense on the field, 40 minutes of the game and 20 minutes on offense.
Yeah, I do know that they've been playing Van Rotten at center. During the practice versus lines, they were playing him at center. They had him
instead
in the middle.
Jingleheimer Schmitz.
Well, JMS is not going to play, so.
Oh, that's right. He was hurt, right?
But that's what I like about some of the depth for the Giants is they have guys who can play multiple positions. Lumor can play tackle. He can play. He might be able to play guard. I like Azudu. I think their depth and their stars look like they might be all right this year. That's the biggest thing for them, I think.
All right. So before we end this, I just want to ask everybody, Dan, what are we eating for the game time? What are we eating?
What?
What are we eating for game time? What are we eating?
Wings.
Actually, wait. When's our next game? Next Sunday?
I forget what day it is.
Or are you talking like first?
It's not going to be.
No. The next week's game, what are we eating?
Oh,
let's make a plan.
I'm going to have wings and.
Well, we got wings on sale for $1.98 a pound down here.
All right, so wings it is.
Wings.
Great. We'll do better next time. I have something prepared for next time.
Hey, you're supposed to come up with something good. What do you suggest?
I think you nailed it on the head, man. I'm a wings guy. Wait,
yeah, I think wings are
I love wings.
Bone in. Flats.
Stacy, bone in or bone out?
Me too. Flats. Oh, flats only. Extra crispy. Yeah, I don't.
Flats.
I'm not a big
like
fan.
Flats.
Hold on. All right. I'm not going to get into it.
Dan
We'll
and I are
both.
Flats are awesome. I don't want to hear it. Flats are great.
I like the flats. I don't like the drums. The
You get some
drums, they
honey
got all that
sriracha
fucking
wings.
nasty, fatty, hard cartilage shit on the end.
Get some
Like
honey
it's your
sriracha wings.
elbow. You know
Drums
what?
only.
That wing is your fucking elbow, dude.
Okay, like I said, you get some honey sriracha wings, and then you get drums only because that's the most meat. I'm not fucking with 2 bones in my mouth. Okay, Stacy, I know you're
You
well
pull
adept.
them apart into 2 separate pieces.
Exactly. There's a system. You just
I shouldn't need a
You
system.
could do
It's
that,
like
but I
crawfish.
pull
It's like
them apart
crawfish.
in two
You know
separate
how you
pieces. That's
do
what I
your
do.
You know how you get your crawfish?
I don't eat crawfish.
Bullshit. You live in Louisiana.
I'll
You
eat
don't
gumbo,
eat
but I'll eat
crawfish.
crawfish.
I don't
You
eat
need to
crawfish
move
either.
out. You need to get the fuck out of there. You need to go to like Philly or something.
Oh, yeah, born and raised.
Go back to Philly.
All right.
Well, it's been good having you back, Stacy. I don't think I'm going to invite you back for the next one.
I'm never gonna get an invite again. It's like that's the last time. See you later,
It's better.
bitch.
It's better banter, right?
Yeah.
So, but you know, we'll be back next week at the same time on Friday, and you know, we'll see if they sign another quarterback. And like I said, I'm excited to see the starters next week. They better play the starters because I don't want to hear nothing about. Oh, we're gonna sit them. They need to be ready. I need to see Jones be ready. So,
All right,
let's see what
guys.
happens.
This has been the Big Blue Power Hour. Thank you for my co-host. As always, Dan, my left-hand man. Stacy, you.
It's nice to have you back,
I
Stacey.
love you too, Ev.
Go Giants!
Love you too, Big Ev.
And you know, everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.